I'm recording on the promenade. I'm going for a walk here in Umhlanga, and there's so many people, and I don't like this. I prefer to walk on the sand, but I wanted to do a recording, and I'm worried that if I talk too close to the ocean, then I won't be able to be heard nicely. Yeah, look, it's a pretty wide promenade, but there's a lot of people. I mean, maybe I can count 20 or 30 people in front of me, and also behind me, it just feels claustrophobic, so many people, and just their energies are just, even though we're not like bunched up together, there's decent space almost in a way. It's just the energy of this whole thing. So let me just walk a bit faster. So it just gets overwhelming for me. I just feel ugly. It doesn't feel pleasant. It's not pleasant energies. It's more, again, when you look at most of these people in the eyes, they all feel like the same kind of person in a way. There's nothing extraordinary. Very, very few people stand out to me, and I do pay attention to that, but very few. Gee whiz, it's just getting busy, and people walking right past me. Like I have a hard time sitting on the aeroplane. I just have a hard time. I don't know how I'd go like to a concert or something like that, unless it was like sort of good vibes, but and sort of healthy people, whatever that means. Not very unconscious people, then I'd probably feel okay. But I doubt you're going to find that nowadays. So it's interesting. I mean, also for myself, I've taken a lot of information. I see the people. I mean, so many people are dressed like so smartly to come for a walk on the promenade, and I see people going on the beach like to fly a kite, and I mean, they're wearing their shoes, they're wearing Nike shoes or something or other, or a lot of people come down to take selfies or photos, and they don't even take their shoes off, and they dress up. People just come, and you can even see, I was just walking past, I couldn't stand the sight of it. Must have been a 4 or 5 year old boy, and he was wearing the tightest jeans and these big heavy sort of Nike tackies, and you could see it's just so uncomfortable. For me, I felt it was uncomfortable. I could barely sort of, and you could see, and anyways, what I wanted to talk about, and I hope the wind is not too much of a problem, but what I wanted to talk about is this idea, why does good people suffer? Why do bad things happen to good people? Why is there so much suffering in the world? Why is there so much pain in the world? Why is it that each thing in existence needs to eat surviving or something else? Why is it, when I look at parents, now, and I just see them with their small child, and or many children, and I just see how unconscious they are. There's a massive group of people walking my way. It just feels like it's this, I don't know what it is. I can't describe the feeling of it, but it's just a whole massive amount. You can maybe hear them as they're walking past, and it's just that energy. It's like, I can't, I got my cap on, so I put my head down so I can't see it. But it's almost like if you ever walk through, not like this, but almost, I don't know, this is something different, but when I walk through an aeroplane, like say my seat's at the back, and I had to go through the front of the aeroplane, I walk, and then you feel all these eyes, you just feel all this energy, buzz, Yeah. Anyways, coming back to this really deep question, I'm talking about also when I see children come into this world, and you are completely dependent for your survival on your parents or whoever else is in the picture for at least, to do it officially, let's say 15 years, 18 years, to a certain degree, but definitely 7 years. 7 years you are completely, utterly and entirely dependent on other people. Doesn't matter how unconscious they may be, doesn't matter how abusive they are, doesn't matter how dysfunctional they are, doesn't matter why you were born to them in the first place or whatever it is. It's nothing about, it's just, that's how it is. In the most really unforgiving of circumstances. It's crazy. We are so, I keep saying this, we are so susceptible. We are so highly impressionable. We are so dependent for our survival on others, on our parents, on the authority, whatever. Some children don't even have, well, I don't even know. Like, I mean, even if a girl gives birth at 16 years old to a baby, or 17 years old, what does she know? Like, you say, oh, it's so young. She's so young. She's so, doesn't know what she's doing. Does somebody at 30 years old know what they're doing nowadays? Or have they known in the past? How to understand, the raising of a healthy human being. I think I have quite a good idea on what to do. I think so. And what I think so. And yeah, definitely. I didn't know for a long time, you can be sure, a big part of my life I didn't really know, but I definitely know. I mean, not perfect, but can give that child a good start. Firstly, I wouldn't send the child to school. I wouldn't inject that child with anything. I'd try have it on a healthier diet. I would try and keep, phones and screens away. I saw the other day an iPad made for 2-year-olds. I try and keep that away. I think I would know how to, and I think I'd know what not to do. And I think I would know how to nurture the child's spirit and essence and everything else. I do feel I would be able to, given the right environment and the opportunity. Yeah. And I kind of mentioned something like that in my last recording, but I can't really get into it. Some of you picked up on it, or one or two. I don't know who else picked up on it, but yeah. It's also one of the reasons why I find myself still in a relationship with Leanne. Yeah. But I don't, anyways. So why is there so much suffering? Why is there so much trauma that's involved? Why is there so much pain and everything else that goes on? The animal kingdom. I mean, I don't need to tell you. It's pretty obvious. It's pretty, well known. And that the rich get richer and the poor get poorer. And again, the irony to life that, time flies when you're having fun type of thing. I mean, that's not pleasant. You can have severe pain that lasts a lifetime, like nerve damage in your spine or something like that, and it can last you a lifetime. But in regards to well-being and joy and comfort, it doesn't last long at all. There are intense degrees of temperatures, of extreme temperatures, of freezing cold that can kill you, or boiling hot that can kill you. Just it's very, very harsh circumstances. It doesn't matter even if you're born into riches, because that doesn't mean that there's going to be love there. And again, so why is it that it just seems that the table is tilted? Why does it seem? And it is, not just that it seems, why is it that as humanity for a very long time has really been enslaved for a very long time to masters, and you might say, sorry, I'm just trying to see something here. I'm always looking for people to, I press pause there, I'm always looking for people to try and meet. I'm always looking out for people that I find may stick out or be different or unusual, or even maybe they might be sitting on the bench and staring at the waves and thinking, or something like that. For me, that interests me, that grabs my attention, that they're different. Most people I feel their energy is very, very occupied. Very occupied. Like in them, there's something in them that is occupied. It's like the space is taken by the matrix in a way. There's the unconscious and the ego, and the mask and the persona is in full tilt. It's like in full working order. It's, if there was like a gauging in a percentage, like you could look at a level, like on your gas on your car or something like that, or when you're charging your cell phone, and what percentage is it full. And I see like a lot of people, most people, it's like percentages, like 95%, it's crazy. But that's what it is. I mean, that's again coming down to this world that we're living in, that it just seems that we can be possessed by culture, be possessed by ego, We can be possessed by addictions. I mean, we're so susceptible to addiction. It's unbelievable how powerful addiction is. Again, and then we live in a society and culture that's not pro-life or pro-spirit, human spirit. It's not at all. It's consumerism, it's capitalism. So why does God allow this to be the case? Why has this turned out in this way? So why? That doesn't make sense. The burning question of why. I met this lady. Just to talk, nothing. She's 27 and hey Kitty. Just walking in the promenade. Spoke for some time, and I just like to meet different people that are just not people that I can see are not worth talking to. Just to have a little conversation, just to have a different kind of experience. Otherwise, it's so much, like I say, wash, rinse, repeat type of lifestyle. So just try and, but with most people, I'm not like, again, this lady that I met now, it's interesting to see where some people, the way that they think, and kind of small-minded, again, not necessarily a judgment, but like just, so I'm afraid to say most people are just very, very, very boring, and also not that I'm any different, but tired of life, even 27 years old, just tired, dragging themselves through going through the motions, dragging themselves through. And again, you just don't see any real, you see it with children still, but as adults, even being on the beach here, like I said, people are all dressed up on the promenade, they can't be themselves. Really, I think the only time that they feel a sense of comfort in a way is when they indulging in food or watching TV or doing something that has an addictive quality to it, like many of us have, and that are kind of caught up in that or something or other. But escapism, in a sense, I don't find real true celebration. I don't think we know how to celebrate anymore. Because what's missing at the heart of everything is relationship and connection to one another. So really we are strangers to one another, and we are all very, very, very lonely. We're emotionally unavailable to ourselves and to others. We haven't developed deep, meaningful connections with ourselves, with one another. So we're all, even a husband and a wife, whatever the hell that means, husband and a wife, doesn't make a difference. Yeah. So I know there's been a couple of interruptions with this recording. And talking about such a serious topic in a way, or subject. why do good things, what's this world about? And how can God allow all of this to be? And doesn't that make God, more of a monster and a devil, and, such innocent suffering, and, again, disabilities, children with terminal diseases, illnesses, all of this stuff, 100%. How many people in this world go to bed starving at night? I can go on and on and on. You can see the odds are not kind to human beings and to human life. And again, one of the ways we deal with this as a culture is by avoidance of reality and avoidance of death and avoidance of that which is really serious, and that which is really, how would I say, just real. Sorry, while I'm walking, I should be fine, but in South Africa, I don't think there's anywhere else in Durban that you can walk outside at this time of night. It's only about 5:30, but the sun is set, while talking on your phone, because, hey, man, somebody will run past and grab your phone from your hands and run off, and you'll be lucky if that's the case, in the sense that they don't actually take out a weapon or something like that and demand more from you. So, but I'm walking on the promenade and there's still people here, so it's fine. But that's the country that I live in. That's what I'm having to be mindful of. Okay, so what's my answer? No, not that I really have an answer, but what's my thought on what's going on here? What happens if this place, and I don't mean to be cheesy, but drum roll please, if this place is hell? This place is hell. That doesn't mean that people come here because they're being punished. I'm not saying that they deserve to be here. I'm not saying that I'm sure there's a discussion to be had on that and some point of views on where certain people incarnate, but you don't have to incarnate into a very bad. I mean, most places are very, well, to a certain degree. Even though if you're born into like first world, doesn't mean that you just might have more pressure put on you as a child to conform and to fit in and everything else. So, and much more, heavily indoctrinated, as opposed to and living, growing up in bedroom, like in apartments, as opposed to growing up like in a village hut, playing with the other children, and being grounded on the earth and swinging from trees. And you might have a much better childhood in a way in a village, in a third world country, than you would in a first world apartment or even house, suburban house, in a sense, where you're being rushed around as a little toddler to all different activities of boxing and learning piano, like my nieces and nephews. It's crazy, and the expectation that's put on them and the demands that are put on them and everything else. Anyway, so hell, that's it. There is a dimension in this earth, in this universe called Earth, and if you want to describe it in a different, if you want to, what's the word for it, is hell. Is it not? Are we not severely separated from source here? Right? Beautiful house. I'd love to have a chat with her. She sounds so, sincere. Yeah. But that's it. It fits when you think about hell, then it's, animals eat each other, they kill each other to survive, people get sick and die at early age, and it's terrible. Trauma, most people are traumatized. We haven't got a clue how to manage, again, parenting, schooling system, health system, we don't have a clue. We don't have the foggiest. Religions do not help, makes, to certain degrees, make matters a whole lot worse. We are completely lost. We are completely clueless. Again, it's like we're trying to put together, I don't know, a spaceship or something like that. Maybe, I don't know, something very complex, something very involved, trying to set up Google and the networking parts and whatever it is, and the software, what do you call it, the programming and the what do you call it now, what people do, how you create programs, gee whiz, man. And not only that, just the storage, the space, everything, and and just trying to do that, and all you have is a matric. You just finished school, and now you've got to figure out how to start up Google from scratch. I'm not, but you understand what I'm saying. But you don't have a clue what you're doing. You don't have a clue. You wouldn't even know where to start. And so that's where we are as human beings. And perhaps there is an extinction level of some kind where, well, human beings, if you don't get it right in enough time, well, then, you just go bye-bye. Hasn't that happened before with all the ice ages, apparently? That the world has gone through flooding and just sort of resets because it just gets too out of hand, just gets too unsustainable, just gets too inhospitable, or whatever it might be. I mean, we don't know these things. I don't know these things. And just because it is hell doesn't mean that it's wrong. And just because it is hell doesn't mean that there's no such thing as prayer. Doesn't mean that it's not still overseen by the hands of God or the angels or higher beings or something like that. You still have immediate access to all of those things. But for now, what it is hell. Now, if we took that approach, that it is hell, I think we'd be much better prepared for life. I think we'd be a lot more realistic. I think it would be so much closer to the truth of our reality, and it would answer so many of these questions of why is there so much suffering? Why do good things happen to bad people? Why do bad things happen to good people? Why do people go to bed starving at night while other people are dying of obesity? Those kind of things. Why is there such an imbalance? Why are we so heavily addicted? Why are we so disconnected? Why are we so easily able to, suffer and be hurt and be maimed? And, why is it that time flies when it's having fun? Why is it that we age and everybody that we know? I mean, there's also a beauty in all of these things, but you know what I'm saying. And in that way, even though it being hell, it still serves a purpose. It still serves a purpose for soul and for growth and all of that. That's the purpose of it. So alright, I'm back by my car now. I need to concentrate, and I don't know if I'll upload this. We'll see how it goes. I'll have to listen to it again. And see.